You're live.
Stand for pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item number 2, public participation. Hearing none, let's move on. Is there anybody else from, besides you, Mike, it's on? From the WPCA board that's remote?
It doesn't look like there's anybody else on except for me.
Item number 3, approval of the meeting, the regular meeting dated October 13th, 2021.
So move.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Communications WPCA Superintendent's Report.
Monthly report for October 2021. The average daily flow is 2.3 MGD. Peak flow is 4.4 MGD. We're in compliance with all our permit limits. The effluent total nitrogen for the month was 57 pounds per day. Truck dumps 17.3 dry tons of sludge. Soil SDRs are in line. We have another incident-free month of accidents with first aid cases up to 34. Our safety training was winter preparations. Our chemical consumables.
Said, what do you guys do for winter prep?
Get the snow blowers ready, for all the guys, get the sand and salt, the shovels out, everything that would be necessary in case of a storm or whatever.
Okay,
We reviewed our safety walking.
safety walking?
Yes,
I mean, like up on the tank, on the deck, on the,
yes, we're everywhere.
okay,
Make sure there's salt around, don't go walking on any ice.
okay.
Basically. Our chemical consumables, for the month, the amount used was as normal. We had no noise complaints. We're up to 109 complaint-free months, no state issue odor complaints at the pump stations or the treatment plant. We now have 39 complaint-free months. Grease removal at the pump stations was upper route 8, 110, lower route 8, 140, the river road 80, rabbit space 80, meadow lark 90, for a total of 500 pounds removed, 40 pounds more than this period last year. Preventive maintenance is schedule with the usual maintenance. Our corrective maintenance was installed a new controller for our 24-hour sampler. We shut down and winterized the disinfection system, repaired a block heater for the Richford Avenue generator. All SBRs are currently online. The future will be to keep on top of all equipment and controls with daily checks and repair as needed. Overtime management was normal.
So Ed, go back up to the corrective maintenance. You guys most obviously have a log at each one of the pump stations, the 8 pump stations. You guys have a monthly log. Right, so that's how you knew that you need to repair the block heater at the,
Yes.
at the generator, the log.
Yeah, 'cause it won't start below a certain temperature. So
Right.
that's how it has an alarm for it.
Does it come back to the plant, the alarm?
No, unless the generator can start, then you get it's the onboard warning light.
Outside the building?
No,
Outside.
inside the building. It's just on the generator. If it doesn't start, then you,
So you drive by, if you drive by the pump station, there's no light saying the generator is not working. You got to go inside the building.
well, you would know if the generator wasn't working, if it wouldn't start.
How would you know?
They come to the plant.
It'll dial your phone if it doesn't start. then it'll
Oh,
dial.
okay, right, all right. Right. Any questions for Ed or Garrett? Hearing none, move on. Budget worksheet. I'm gonna be curious how this starts adding up after 6 months of into it. I actually started going through it with our original budget, just kind of nice to get some of that. So we do know that this does not, is this definitely through the 5th? This budget worksheet, do we know?
Yeah, this is current day. This is current day. As I mentioned last meeting, we haven't asked to do a spreadsheet, so depending on each one of these things. So she's got all the accounts done. She's been working feverishly on it, but there's a lot of data to input. So we just need a few more, she needs a little more time to get up to current day. But otherwise, cross-referencing, this is pretty much what we have at the moment.
Right. So I would go through, what I started doing is, and it's probably a little bit too early, and I realize that. So we had this, I remember the discussion, I took notes on like gasoline. You had 12,000, we've only expended $411, right? We got a balance of 11,000. And I don't remember the exact discussion, but I remember going through some of these and I'm thinking to myself, okay, where are we using a $12,000 for the gasoline? That was for the generators, correct?
No, diesels for the generator.
Well, that's what I'm saying, diesel for
Well,
the.
gas and diesel, yeah.
Right. And so in 4 months, you have 6 months almost, we haven't quite even used much of it. I mean, you've hardly used any of it. I look at some of the other ones, I look at minor tools, that's a big deal, 100%,
I don't think that number reflects true because we submitted an invoice not too long ago for the generator. The temporary one we had was over close to $2,400 for fuel delivery.
Right, so this is not, that's kind of my point, Garrett, then is if you're stating there's one out there, and maybe Ashley can come to terms with this eventually, is that, and the only problem I have with this is that it's hard to kind of like gauge what you're doing. We only find out at the end of the year what you're really doing.
Right.
And I don't think that's really, I don't like it, but you know what? I guess there's nothing you're gonna do, because that's the way the system works and we're not changing the system. We can try to have Ashley, as I know you're starting to do now, is just trying to get into getting some of these up to date. Now, maybe that was submitted in October, so maybe it wouldn't get on here yet. So I don't know what the cutoff date is. Kind of my comments. I look at it and try to look at it against what we budgeted, and because I kept notes when we did our, on. Any other questions on the budget? Guess we won't know until next June. Right, Ed?
Unfortunately.
No more questions on the worksheet? Be a fast one. No old business, new business. Manny, two Mohawk Drive application.
Good evening. My name is Manny Silva from Rose Diesel Company. I'm here representing the owner of 2 Mohawk, which we'd like to, we don't have any other, we'd like to go to Dove PCA and get it approved prior to going to planning and zoning. We just want to know, due to the complication with this sewer shed, which connects to Stratford, we need your approval first to then go to Stratford for their permission. So the existing sewer line is, as you can see here, is Long Hill Avenue. The project is here on the corner of Long Hill Avenue, Mohawk, and River Road. There's an existing 12-inch sanitary line here, which we will be tapping into with our new 8-inch lateral, PVC lateral. As you can see here, the project is building over parking, and our lateral would come here at the corner and connect into that 12-inch PVC lateral in Long Hill Avenue, near its terminus with River Road. The project itself is a mix of 1 and 2 bedroom units, about 18, actually it is at 18 2-bedroom units and 12 1-bedroom units. Per the calculations on the application for the city of Shelton, 30 units would create about 6,300 gallons per day. which is an equivalent of about 30 EDU units. And again, we filled out the application, which comes out to $78,000 for a benefit charge. So what we're here to do is our first step, to get your comments or approval, and then go on to the WPCA in Stratford, because this sewer shed does go into Stratford, and they have their, I guess we have to get their approval also. So if there's any questions.
I don't know, Mr. Chairman, I just want to make one note that, this application for your client
Correct.
will be given to our consultant engineer.
Right.
And they assess a fee, so.
Well, I'm not sure that he's going to Stratford. He has nothing to do with our plant.
No, he's tying into the city of Shelton.
You're tying into Stratford.
We're tying into a sewer in the city. of
Oh, that's,
Shelton, which
okay,
then goes
that's,
into Stratford.
yep.
Yeah, that's why I said the sewer shed's a little more.
He doesn't
Yeah.
have to go to Stratford. But
He's got to go to Stratford because the flow doesn't come to us, it goes to Stratford.
That's our
correct.
job to do that.
No. No, they typically go directly. We don't have anything to do with it. Typically, they go directly to Stratford. We just look at it and say, yep, looks good. It runs through our ladder, through our main down into Stratford. So we don't, that sewage doesn't touch our plant other than being in the road, hitting our line.
It goes through our infrastructure, so
Correct.
we'll oversee it. As I was saying, this application will go to our consultant engineer. He assesses a fee for this. They'll render a decision which the board will read to you, in the next meeting.
Okay, I would just preface with that is that the phase of the project right now doesn't have a lot of detail to it. Due to the fact that if the sewer were to be denied in Stratford or here, there's no point in going forward with the project. So it's atypical for me to come to you guys with something with as little detail as there is right now. I normally have the project, 100% designed out.
But the design is not a factor for here. What we're concerned is what's on this piece of paper, and that's all this board needs and our consultant engineer.
Okay.
We're looking at volume. Can the system handle the volume? And then we'll worry about Stratford's going to accept this volume. And that'll be given to you. If we could, Mr. Chairman, correct me if I'm wrong, if you think we get him something on the, like off the cuff, not formal, if it's not, wouldn't be approved prior to the next meeting, or should just wait till the next meeting and to get the official.
Well,
rendering.
I think and again, it's been a while. I don't remember. I don't believe we charge them the entire $7,800. You're right, it goes through our line, so you have to pay a fee, but a benefit, and again, I could be totally wrong, but it's been a while.
All right, here's what's gonna happen.
Because
You're
a
going
benefit
through our
connection
system.
charge, hold on a second, a benefit connection charge means that we are gonna treat, he's got the benefit of our line, which is agreed 100%.
Right.
And I could be wrong, and you could be 100% right, but I don't remember.
What's gonna happen if this is approved? First
Right.
of all, let's take it step by step. You're submitting this to the board. They have to first accept this application, motion and second it. After that, it's gonna go to our consultant engineer. He's gonna look through the physics of it. After that, if they approve that this can be done, then, you'll be notified. And we will be in touch with Stratford. The point is, Stratford assesses the city of Shelton. So you would
Right.
pay us and we would pay Stratford. That's how it's gonna work.
Yeah, once the job is approved, then they send us a bill. So it typically costs, and here's a little bit of the problem, and we've had this discussion for a while. We pay more to have you go to Stratford because they charge us more,
Right.
and we pick up the difference. So that's where, and again, it's been a while, and I'd have to talk to Matt about, we have to talk to Matt, but we paid it, and that's always been the crux, is that why are we paying more for a developer to go to Stratford? They charge us more money, and then we, out of the WPCA, have to pay the difference. Well, that's not fair. It's not the way it should work. So Yeah, I mean, we're gonna have to talk about it with Matt, because I don't remember exactly what we came up with. It's been a while since we've last had a project. I mean, yeah, the benefit connection charge is that you have our sewer there. That's the benefit to you. Whether it is a 78, it could well be, but you know, the bigger question is coming back to us that we're gonna have to pay that difference. And that's where I always had the problem with it. So yeah, this is gonna be some discussion about it, without a doubt. So, I mean, I think in general, and if anybody else hasn't, you know, in general, it looks okay, but we're gonna pass it on to Weston and Sampson.
Okay, yeah, I just want to be able to know when, I just, maybe I need to go offline with Ernie and figure out when I can go to Stratford and actually file with them and get their, I guess, blessing on the capacity, right? Because I think we still have to go to them to determine the capacity, correct?
Yeah.
Let us do that,
Okay.
you know, before you cook a bridge, let us make sure that the bridge is available, right?
Yep.
All right.
So we'll get a hold of Matt. This will get passed on to Weston and Sampson. And Ernie and I will have a discussion about it.
Very good, I appreciate
But
it.
I'm more interested in filling the gap so we're not paying that additional fee.
No, absolutely, it's that, it should be probably that you guys charge a higher fee than Stratford charges you, I would think that's the way it should.
No, it's a lesser fee. Let's say for argument's sake, and I don't remember, they charge us $400 or $900 and we only charge for, I don't remember the exact, and so the difference was like $500 per EDU. And we were taking the $500 and we were paying it out of our
Mhm.
our fund.
I would think that the board needs to say at that point, any current and future connections to Stratford are gonna be at such a rate.
Right.
Different than
They're gonna be
than
what?
Shelton,
Right.
You're gonna
be
use
what?
the rate for that
a
solution.
different rate, a higher tier. You know, there's no reason
Right.
why Shelton should pick up the tab for a developer, you know.
No, there's not.
Getting
That's
the
right.
benefits of putting you know, he's getting lower taxes already, right out of the gate than Stratford. And he's paying a lesser sewer fee that we, like the chairman said, we're paying a higher fee for something that they're getting for less money. So
Matter of fact,
that's something we should.
We had this discussion, Michael, remember over Auto Swage, the property there in the boat basin. And that project got put on hold indefinitely.
here it is right here. We have to pay $295,000 a year. That's in our budget for anybody that goes to Stratford,
Right.
any resident that goes to Stratford. And that's been the crux for years, is why are we paying it? Because the answer, I guess it's a legitimate answer, is because people are living here in Shelton, they come here for the lower taxes and lower rates. Well, that doesn't make it fair because so we're subsidizing a developer now. It's one thing that we're subsidizing a resident up Long Hill Road that's been here for 25 or 30 years. That's different. We're not going to keep on adding on the $295,000 to subsidize a developer.
Isn't that fee that we spend to Stratford, that's a processing fee, correct?
No, Stratford user fees.
Well,
It's the difference that what Stratford,
okay, well, based upon what though? Because that figure's not. What I should say is.
That's current day.
I understand that, but it's based upon, where did they come up with
It's based on the volume that's going to Stratford.
that process?
Right.
right.
That's what I'm saying. It's not a flat fee. It's
No.
based
No,
upon how many gallons.
it could go up.
I understand.
Yeah,
It's based upon how many gallons are going to Stratford plant,
That's correct.
which is different than the user fee.
Right, I mean, to me, it should be reverse engineered based on how much you're putting into Stratford, what are they charging you? And
Precisely.
then that, it should be that plus something for your maintenance of the sewer network.
That's right.
And apply that to that sewer channel.
Yep. It's been a contention for a while and we never really figured it out. And unfortunately, Tom passed away. Then it kind of like, I don't want to say it died, but
So in Watertown, they actually have that situation and they call it the Watertown Fire District. And that's where they have a sewer, their sewer fees or their taxes are different depending on what part of town you're in, because one is serviced by a certain treatment plant that has. Or one is being serviced by Waterbury, versus the treatment plant
Right.
in Watertown.
All right, so we'll talk to the engineer. We'll pass this on to Weston Sampson. We'll get you an answer by
Make a
next
motion
month.
to accept the application, right?
Yeah, if you want, sure.
Yeah, we should.
Anybody want to make a motion, to pass this on to Weston Sampson?
I'll make a motion and we pass this on to our two Mohawk Drive application onto our engineer for further research.
Motion from Don to pass this on.
Second.
Second,
Steve, second.
any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody deny? Thank you, man.
Thank you very much. Have a great night.
You too. Sewer administrators report.
That fast?
It'll be 25 minutes, quickest meeting we've had.
Yeah. Everyone, I think the big thing of the day is this lining that's gonna start, I put down on the 15th, but there's a new update, they're gonna start Sunday night. So they have all their materials, they're coming to town Friday, and this is in situ form. So Sunday night, they're gonna roll. Monday and Tuesday night, they're gonna get, when I say get their feet wet, get acclimated, get their guys on the night shift versus what they've been doing all day. So get them up to speed, and that, so it'll be Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, they'll be working on Old Bridgeport Avenue. Kind of a desolate area, as everyone knows. Once they get their A game together, we'll bring them off to Bridgeport Avenue where the real traffics and flows are. But their hours are gonna be from 7 PM to 6 AM. I just wanted everyone to be aware of that. The Thanksgiving week, they're only gonna work a 3-day week. And after that, it'll be, after Thanksgiving, it'll be Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. That'll be their work. When I say work week, that'll be the work nights from 7 PM to 6 AM. So we're hoping by doing this that they'll reduce the imposition of any traffic flows and imposition to any residents and businesses.
So they're working 4 nights a week or 5 nights a week?
There'll be, what was it, 5 nights, Sunday, Monday,
Oh,
Tuesday,
Sunday,
Wednesday,
okay, Sunday. I thought
Thursday.
you said Monday to Thursday.
Well, no.
Sunday night to
night,
Thursday
Yeah,
night.
yeah. Except for Thanksgiving.
Right.
I wanted to give some compliments to Lori Vano in our office. She's been, between her and the tax collector, she's been doing a lot of research work and finding that a few buildings have gone without being charged, 2-family and 3-family homes, and larger buildings have been going way under charged. So kudos to her. She's picked up quite a few EDUs throughout the city that we just sent new tax bills for that they've been getting away for years. So good for her research.
See, that's why that thing is really critical. That thing gets updated all the time. That chart that Ashley and you have been talking about,
Yeah, you bet.
it's starting to show it now. I had a feeling for a long time that there was something that was just not
Yeah, you've been saying quite a long.
not adding up, but
Yeah.
thanks.
Yeah. And the company eQuicks will be back in cleaning and televising, more pipes. Thank goodness to the government funding. That's not going to come out of your account or this account. So that was subsidized with a purchase order from what is they call the CARES Act. I forgot the technical name. And then thank goodness for Pete, because Pete put all the linear footage together for that, as I was mentioning in the last meeting. But it's, it came out to 97,797. I think he's still got an additional 25,000 that he was working on. An incredible amount of tenacious work to bring this all to the contractor's hands, just hand it to the contractor and they could run with it from there. And then, as I was mentioned, besides all the field work that Ashley's been put on, you know, we thought that she wasn't overwhelmed enough, that we'd throw a little more on her shoulders. So we give her 41 spreadsheets to bring up to speed, so that you folks could see accounts right down to the penny. So she's working on that, and each meeting will be able to have, you know, the amount of money in each account right to the penny at the end of the day, at the end of each day. Basically, that's all I have for you folks.
I'm gonna try to stop in Friday, just to see how you're doing on those spreadsheets. I know you and I had a couple questions on how you were setting them up.
Yeah.
And some of the data you were collecting on them.
I've gotten clarification on the data that.
All right, good. And then maybe maybe tomorrow or Friday, we can have a call with Matt to talk about this one, just to kind of get it.
Tomorrow's Veterans Day.
Oh, that's right. Maybe we try something next.
Friday's a good day.
Maybe we do Friday.
Friday, a meeting at noon with the in situ forum, they're coming to town.
Okay.
And any other time I'm at your disposal, or not disposal, but get out of my ear.
Maybe 1 or 2 o'clock Friday afternoon, I'll talk to Matt and see if we can get, 3 of us can get together and
Sounds good.
talk about this one.
Yeah, that'd be great.
He's younger than me. He's got a better memory on how we handle this. I don't. You know, that Stratford fee is just like, there's gotta,
I do think that the board should make a motion that in the future, we should figure that any future, current and future stuff that's gotta go to Stratford should be assessed at Stratford's rates.
Right.
And not pin it to, in case they go up on the rates. So we have the wording, stated it that way.
yeah, we'll probably need some kind of legal term from that too.
Yeah.
Because I know we had, what's his name again? Theodosio. I know he spoke to him maybe a couple of years ago about it.
Mhm.
When it was, you know, and of course it's gonna have to go through, probably
Oh,
through
corporate counsel.
corporate counsel, yeah.
Yeah.
And it got kind of dropped, I don't, you know, it's one of those things.
Yeah, but now it's getting serious, man. I mean,
Right.
$300 grand, you know, you're charging $203 per resident. How are you gonna make up $300,000?
You're not. That was always the crux of the problem.
Yeah, so we'll address it. We'll get
Yeah.
into it.
I'll schedule something. Maybe 1 o'clock, between
Yeah,
1 and 2,
one's
and I'll
nice,
call
yeah.
Matt.
Yeah.
Can Stratford deny the volume coming in from Shelton?
Oh, yeah.
Yep,
Have they?
I believe the marina project that Pete was alluding to a little earlier. Yeah, they turned, you know, a project down.
so 1 year, I actually wrote a letter 3 or 4 years ago. I wrote a letter to Stratford because Tom and I spent some time going through the flow from Long Hill, obviously from that area. And I wrote a letter to them. We were trying to understand what their cutoff was going to be and how many gallons they were going to allow from Shelton into Stratford. And I got a snotty remark that it's kind of like it's none of your business. And even a couple of people have said it, that, you know, these guys they're the town, I don't know, you probably know it, they're the town council and they sit on the board. Their town council their WPCA is made up of their town council. So they have dual roles. And I tried calling the WPCA administrator, never got any phone calls back. And Tom tried calling, and it's like, we got nowhere with him.
So strictly politicians are on the board.
That's what it comes down to. And we just wanted to know, because we had added up, and I don't remember I think 300, I'm going to just use a number I think is fairly close, 395,000 gallons, because some of this was going to be anticipated on lots. So let's say you owned a lot in Long Hill. You had a house in Long Hill and you had a lot right next to it that someday you might want to sell. You know, you're in retirement, you might need the money, so you're going to sell the lot. So we're going to pay $203. And then whoever you sold it to was going to pay, I think they're $495. So there's it might even be more, $600 now. I think they raised their rates. So we were trying to understand how many, how many people we had like that. And they wouldn't, Tom tried, I tried, I wrote a letter, I got a snotty, kind of I don't want to call it snotty, but not a really nice letter back. And Tom and I, what do we do? Tom's, I don't know. And then, of course, he passed away and it kind of died with him. So this might be the time to try to get it started again, but they're not really receptive to discussions.
Our corporation council, remember, looked into the plausibility that can you charge residentials different fees than commercials? Remember, that was the other issue.
Yeah.
And we
yeah.
did a measurement that Matt has at the pipe going into Stratford, remember?
Right. We did it.
That
We
was out
did it.
there for that
We did a flow analysis. Yeah.
analysis, and,
So,
we know what we were going, what we had at that point in time.
and Matt was actually helping put together those numbers, and we were trying to put together, a decent to me, it was a decent request, but they didn't look at it that way, and they kind of poo-pooed us. So maybe it's, I don't know. I'm not gonna say maybe it's time, because I don't know if it'll probably not change.
Also in that discussion was raising our current residents, which, rates that are going to Stratford. And then the discussion came up, well, if they're paying 600 and the rest of Shelton is paying 200.
Well, that was the
what's
other
the
argument.
equity in that. That was the other.
That was the other argument. Well, how can you charge Don because he's on Long Hill, $400, $600, and
Yeah.
and we're only paying $203.
Yeah. That was,
So it's a hard one to put together. I don't, and Matt actually had some good insight to it, because I talked to Matt, and when Virgil was involved, and they had the same thing up in, I don't even remember where, Watertown or Waterbury or something like that. They had the same thing. So Matt has all that good information as background. In the benefit connection charge, you're right, you're tying into our system. We got to maintain that. Well, somebody's gonna say, well, it's a short pipe. Well, there's a benefit that there's a pipe there. What if there wasn't a pipe there? Some answers we got back from developers or people was, I'll extend the line into Stratford. Out in 110, 111 or 110. So it's messy. It's not easy. And we'll start the conversation early on Friday at noon.
Okay.
Anything else?
Yeah, you have the meeting schedule. This is the handout. It's the handout that's for next year's schedule.
So then the last page is last page is our budget, is our capital sinking fund balance. So we should start seeing more money in this balance, in this, as we start finding out actually who hasn't paid, Bernie.
Yeah, yes, you're correct. It's going to be coming in. It's a pretty significant amount of EDUs, believe it or not.
Yeah. We got to vote on the schedule for next year too. Anybody want to make a motion and make a change?
I'll make a motion that we approve the meeting schedule for year 2022.
The only thing is the 4:30 thing,
Well,
but that's just my own opinion.
well,
I mean, I have to go back to the 7, but
if it changes, then what you do is you cancel the existing meetings that are on the books, you schedule a special meeting.
well, this is considered a special meeting.
Right now,
still,
we're in a special meeting. So,
because
we've been
realistically,
in a special meeting since it was 4:30.
yeah.
yeah. So the reverse would take place next year. Instead of it being 4:30, it'd be 7 o'clock is the special meeting.
Yeah.
So that's doable if you all.
The only thing is that some people may think 7 o'clock's too late and 4:30 is too early. So I'm even in between,
Well,
the end
we-
of 5:30 or 6,
Well, City Hall still closes at 6,
Satisfied.
correct?
Right, yeah. Right
So
now,
until City Hall doesn't close at 6, then we have no choice.
we got to stick with what we got now.
Mhm.
It's still, they're closing at 6 still.
Mhm.
Until that changes, we got to stick with it.
Yep.
So was that a second that we heard from you?
Yes. All in favor of changing the WPCA schedule 2022 or keeping the new schedule 2022? All in favor? Anybody
Aye.
opposed? Motion adjourned. That was Ed Hellauer's job. We need a new person to take on Ed's job. All in favor of adjournment?
Aye.
So moved. Huh? Second? Yeah, Ernie, is that ever gonna, I mean, what's the, what are they thinking? Nobody really knows yet.